what was the longest green flag run has now gone kaboom.
Tell you what, like we were talking about earlier, getting up there on that high side with the bumpy track that we've got out here, these guys got to be really careful getting up on that high end because one small bump running around here at 190 miles an hour will definitely sling these guys up into the wall. And, of course, I believe that's what we just saw.
Great job by everybody to miss pop, especially Ducharme there. Nice miss. But that's going to bring the caution out here. And I tell you what, we are going to regroup now, and we're getting close to halfway, too. I think the show's really about to be getting in because remember that halfway leader is going to get $10 donated to them in their iRacing as part of leading the halfway bonus here.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, for our viewers out there, we'll see what we can do to get a hold of Derek Perdue and Chance Crum, maybe even Aaron Davis and Seth the Merchant, and get these guys up in the booth and maybe be able to talk to these guys, Chris.
Let me see. I think the only way we're going to be able to do it, because they're in another team speak, will be to do a race chat here. But we're going to see pit stops first, I'm pretty sure. So we'll let them pit, and then we'll talk to them.
I tell you, this is definitely going to change up some things here today at Daytona International Speedway. The long green flagged laps that we saw out there, and now it's going to give everybody an opportunity to get in there, get that fuel tank topped off, and we're going to go back to some green flag racing. Going to get some guys up there. The fields are going to start stacking back up, and all of that's happening right here, just a few laps before we get to our halfway. I know that that Derek Perdue did not want to see that come out, Chris. He's definitely banking on putting a few bucks in the bank.
Absolutely. Him or Chance Crum are well on track for that happening now, and it makes you wonder even if the drivers have that in mind, that halfway bonus is even on the line. You know, I mean, if you're so focused on trying to get to the finish, you know, I mean, that'd be one I'd probably so focused I might not even be thinking about until all of a sudden it's like lap 105. It's like, oh, yeah, I had a chance to get what I get. It looks like Bordeaux going to win the race off pit road here.
They definitely got an advantage being at the end of that pit road there. Of course, you got to go down slow, but as soon as you get that 4 tires and fuel topped off, you're able to just gas that thing and get out of there when you're the first car at the end of pit road down there.
That's absolutely right. So Bordeaux going to come off the pit road in the lead, and let's get the pole sitter and the guy who has led the most laps now, with 26 laps led, started in the back as part of a challenge, worked his way up, and let's chat with the 4 here for a second. Right. So we'll talk to him through iRacing here. Derek Bordeaux, Chris Gall in the FRO TV booth. Got a copy?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Derek, you've lapped so far this evening, 26 out of the 89. We've had the 6 cautions, 5 of them obviously early in the race. We've kind of shrunk the field down a little bit and had a good green flag run there. Let's talk about you, though. Starting in the back as part of a challenge. You've worked your way back up to the front. How's the car?
Yeah, it's pretty, I don't know. First caution, everybody pitted, and I kind of got like 20 spots, and it was pretty, well, not easy to get up front, but with every pit, you can get a lot of spots depending on how many tires you get. Other than that, it's pretty sick. Pretty sick race so far. I don't know what happened in the back. Marcus wrecked. I wish there was more car drafting in the pack, but I think it's going to get better now. So hopefully we're going to keep it green until the end.
Well, definitely a good chance of that, and it's been a great show so far, and kind of had an old school feel to it, with cars spread out and running in packs. But yeah, Rick and Derek, looks like you're getting a wave around or something. I don't know what's going on there. But with the racing itself, though, it's like almost an old school look to it.
Yeah, I gotta go pee, boys. Can I?
Oh,
go pee here.
I see. Bordeaux's got to go talk to a man about a horse. All right. Well, Derek, good luck the rest of the race. Don't you hate when this happens? Bordeaux, he pulled way up ahead. He's like, I'm going to go stop the car. You guys keep going. That's funny.
They getting their spots back?
All right, let me say to you what, I want to see if I can get a hold of Seth the Merchant, Aaron Davis. Those guys are doing a really good job out there.
Yeah,
All right, guys. Rick Donovan up in the booth here. We're live across the airways. A lot of folks back here watching. Got quite a bit of viewers out there. Want to talk to Aaron Davis. Aaron Davis, have you got a copy?
Copy.
Yes, sir, I do.
Aaron,
I tell you what, you and Seth the Merchant working it out there, making it happen, especially that high line out there. How's the car feeling this late in the game?
The car's feeling just fine. I just took tires for the first time in the race. We just took 4, so it's driving fine with really old tires, so should be good to the finish here on tires.
I tell you what, those top 2 guys up there were really making it work out there. And Chance Crum was looking really strong out there. Now, you and Seth were making some
things work and capitalizing on some of the mistakes that was being made up there. Now that we've back to caution, got everybody grouped up, the game is going to change. Any game plan?
I'm racing to halfway to get that $10, and after that, if I'm still around, then I'll be just riding probably with Seth.
Fantastic.
I tell you what, we wish you the best of luck out there. Anything you'd like to say to the viewers out here?
No, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for letting me race here today.
Fantastic.
I tell you what, we wish you the best of luck, and good luck out there. You and Seth working together out there, and hopefully you guys have a good race and finish her out here.
All right.
Wow.
Can you hold the...
I'm so intrigued that my question was answered a second ago. I said, I wonder if these guys were even thinking about that halfway bonus. Yes, they are.
Yes, I tell you what, you got to think about it this way, Chris. Money and racing go together, hand in hand. If you don't have money, you're probably not going to go racing. And if you want to go racing, you got to have the money to go racing. So they kind of go hand to hand. So when these guys are out on the track, whether it's in real life or on sim, there's always money on the line.
And we're going to be 9 laps from halfway as we go back to racing here. Lap number 91, Derek Bordeaux, Chance Crum, DeMerchant, Bobby Chaney, Aaron Davis, your top 5. We reset, and we go back racing in Daytona.
Let the field kind of fall out here and see what takes place. Again, new game changer here today, Chris. When these guys go back to green, these guys are all stacked back up there. There's no guys that's kind of spread out. They're all on the same game plan. They've got those fuel tanks filled up, got new rubber out there on all 4, and it's almost like we almost made it halfway, but it's like a new race.
Absolutely, and that's what we got here. It's a brand new start. It's a 108-lap race now as Chaney almost gets up in the wall. Bordeaux going to go to the lead with Seth DeMerchant pushing them. And looks like everybody's starting to work their way back to single file. See Marcus Richardson diving underneath the gable back there.
Well, it's going to be one interesting few laps here within the next few. Remember, let the viewers out there know that halfway mark here, I think you know a little bit more details as far as who's in the running for that $10 for a halfway point.
Yeah, it's going to be a good race to see who's it going to be, if it's going to be Bordeaux, if it's going to be DeMerchant. I tell you what, I don't know if I like this little spread out they got here because the package is going to hound these guys back in, I think.
Tell you what, the 83 Chance Crum now looks like him and Aaron Davis are working together, and Seth DeMerchant and Derek Bordeaux working together. That's kind of a game changer there. I'm kind of scratching my head here.
Yeah, and another name we're going to mention here, Brett Pancari there in the 5th position is Toronto Blue Jays number 19 Toyota. He is up there in 5th. He has just been quiet and worked his way up to 5th.
And just looking out there, looking for a little bit of help there. The 24 of Bobby Chaney looks like he's going to try to get that Chevrolet up there to help him out a little bit there. They can get a good run. They can kind of catch this group of 4 up there leading the top.
Yeah, Pancari out there on his own right now. But you mentioned Aaron Davis. He's got Chance Crum there in the bottom as he's going to go for the lead here as we're 6 laps from halfway. Who is going to do it? Here in the 500, who will get that $10? And I tell you what, if I'm somewhere back where like Richard Schwint, looking back there, Nick Caressel, those guys who are running 13th, 14th, 15th, I don't think it's worth getting aggressive to get the $10. Somewhere on 10 is 10, but when it's all over with, it's about where you finish. You want that trophy that's going to be worth good $50, $60, or you want that $10 in money?
That's right. Taking a look over here in the chat box, Relvin or not very outgoing personalities. We need DW. Tell you what, sometimes getting up there in the booth, or whether you're a driver out there and knowing that you got a field of a lot of people out there watching, people get a little nervous, a little timid out there.
Yeah, and you're in this kind of race. You've already been racing for, just a little over an hour and a half now into this race. I mean, people are going to get tired. People are getting angry. People are, they're focused.
That's right. And, of course, money is on the line, so definitely going to see a lot of focus in here. Coming up with Aaron Davis, Chance Crum still working together up front up there. Looks like the 4 of Derek Bardou has kind of fell back a little bit, but the 19 of Brett Picari starting to work with that 4 there. 33 of Seth the Merchant goes way wide on the outside out there. The 4 of Derek Bardou is going to work with him there.
Yep, and Picari has caught them down to 19, so the Blue Jays car with a chance. And here comes Miguel Gomez in a 35. Haven't said his name much. No, by the way, you hear that Jaws sound, that song? Do, 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 do. That's the Blue Deuce. Marcus Richardson's back in the pack here.
Marcus Richardson's made his way back up into the pack here after early incident there on the track, making his way back. So it's good to see that he's trying to get his way back up there. Still a lap down is what I'm showing, but I tell you, it looks like the pit crew did a good job, got his car fixed there, Chris.
And you're about to see 2 different animals happen here in the next 4 laps. You're going to see everybody try to lead, it looks like here. And as soon as lap 111 starts, everybody's going to probably go single file. Watch.
Yep,
look at the pack.
3 wide there. The 24 of looks like Bobby Cheney opened it up down there on the bottom. Got in up. Oh, the 75 up into the wall there. Looks like he's going to keep it down there, but did scrub the wall when some changes took effect there.
Apparently $10. Somebody wants 4 gallons of gas.
That's right.
It's a little more than 4. But anyways, yeah, the Merchant leading right now, 3 laps to halfway. As we mentioned, you see the 225 up there. It's actually a 200-lap race. The 25 laps you see up there are actually for green-white checkered if needed. Chance Crum thinking about the middle. He might be in a sucker hole now.
Oh, tell you what, going in 3 wide down here, looking to go in turn 3. 3 wide, I tell you.
Oh, Marcus, contact with Gomez.
35 going to still hold it down there on the low end. Looks like he's going to pull it through. That's Miguel Gomes. Yes, definitely held on to it. Good driving there.
Cheney to the front. Man, is this the last lap?
Lap 99, so the next lap comes around, whoever the leader is going to win that $10 for the halfway point. The 24 of Bobby Cheney looks like he's got a little bit of a stronger car right now.
Oh, Bordeaux! To Merchant!
Oh! Man, how did they pull that off, Chris?
I don't know how they saved that, but the Merchant now with damage. As Chance Crum goes to the lead. Next, not this time, but the next time by, when they complete lap 100, the leader of that lap will get the bonus money. Aaron Davis going to make a move.
All right, this is it. They're going to complete this 1 lap right here. We're going to see who wins that $10 for the halfway point. As they're going down in turn 1, it looks like Aaron Davis working with Chance Crum there. The 24 of Bobby Cheney up on the high side, getting a little help from the 2 car of, I believe that's going to be Marcus Richards. They're still stacked up back there on the backstretch.
Yeah, Richardson doing a great job pushing Bobby. Justin Gable back into the picture at the 10. He's got a chance now. Who is it going to be? They're all pushing like it's the last lap of the 500 here.
Looking pretty strong coming out of turn 4. The 20 of Aaron Davis is going to be locked in right behind him. Not a whole lot he can do.
It's going to be Chance Crum.
Chance Crum.
Chance Crum will get the $10 for leading the halfway point in the Daytona 500. So here we are, 1 half down, 250 miles in. 250 to go is Rick Donathan, Chris Scallop here in the booth on For Races Only TV. One of many races you're going to see this week, Rick. And I tell you what, this has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I tell you, these guys giving it everything they can give it. And I tell you, now since we're past the halfway point, these guys know who got some payout here. Now is the part where we'll probably start seeing these guys kind of settle it down a little bit and get in that single file like you were talking about earlier. I tell you, Aaron Davis is wanting to get out there on that outside and make that outside groove work. 24 of Bobby Chaney cuts it back down and is going to want to work with Chance Crum.
And Chaney showing that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Drive to End Hunger Ford Fusion that he does want to get this 500. Chaney, the first ever champion at USRC in the Truck Series. He won that season just a couple seasons ago.
Man, I tell you, they're still bouncing around back there. Marcus Richardson sitting there right behind Aaron Davis. Of course, the 10 car of Justin Gable still looking good out there. Justin making some quick moves earlier in the race there, and then kind of lost track of him. But now he's worked himself back up there to the front. The Brett Macari, I believe you called him Blue Goose. He's still looking good up there.
I think you just introduced a nickname to him. Blue Goose. There's the Blue Deuce of Richardson.
Blue Deuce. Okay.
That's Richardson. I get the Blue Goose. I kind of like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got Blue Goose and Blue Deuce working there side by side, door handle to door handle. They're coming out of turn 3 or turn 2. I'm sorry.
Another name to enter the picture here. Brian Ray in the 27. The Polar Bears, we call them.
Hey, well, you got all these nicknames for these drivers over here. I don't know how you keep up with them.
As they come up on the lap car, Seth the Merchant actually made an unscheduled pit stop there in the 33. He's about to go lap down here.
And if you remember a couple laps back before we got to our halfway point, Seth the Merchant got up in the wall back there. Him and the 4 car of Derek Perdue kind of connected back there and threw both of them up in the wall. Not quite sure if Derek Perdue's got some damage to that car. We see if we can get maybe a shot on the front right or maybe the right side of that car. It looked like he scraped it coming out of turn 2 on that right before we went halfway.
I see a little bit of nose damage on the 4. A little bit of nose damage, but he's still got plenty of opportunity to get that fixed. It looks like, though, very minor nose damage, though, and that is probably still affecting his aerodynamics a little bit, as Aaron Davis going to cut it to the middle on DeMerchant.
Ooh, I tell you, Aaron Davis had to cut it down a little bit. Seth the Merchant got a little high up there. Not sure if he really touched the wall, but a doggone, he came real close to it.
Lap number 104 in the books here. Again, 200 laps now. I saw somebody in chat ask what a green-white checkered is. Basically, what's going to happen if we get to the scheduled distance, which is 200 laps, and the caution is out, what we'll do is stack the field back up under caution, and we will do a green-white checkered type of finish, which means a green flag will come out. There will be 2 laps to go. Next time by will be the white flag, which will be 1 lap to go, and the checker to finish it and to win. The race must end under green flag today. The only way it won't end under green is if somehow they did 25 laps of caution in that last part, and then at that point the race will be over. So they'll have 5 chances, if not 4, 5 chances to get it finished under green. So we'll see.
I definitely think we got the drivers to get it done here, and I tell you, I think we're going to go green. I don't even think we're going to need the extra 25. I think we'll go green the whole way. These guys have got settled in here now today. We've had some early hiccups at the beginning of the race here, but these guys know that there's a lot of competition out here on the track, so they're going to have to basically they're going to have to play it smart out here and make the right moves at the right time.
That's exactly right. We've had 6 cautions so far in the 100 laps, which in the races I've run 500 miles, usually of the hosted sessions, I've run in 2 so far, and both of them had 6 cautions. So, and we're on the bumpier track, which is even tougher. So, you know what? They had 5 in the first 40 laps or so. We've only had 1 since then. These guys have really settled into a groove and are putting on a great show. Chance Crum's led 21 laps so far. Bordeaux has led the most with 28. Also, Seth the Merchant leading 24 laps. So, they have been your 3 big leaders in this race.
Yeah, what these guys have been really working well with each other here this evening. I know they kind of got spread out here just a little bit. I'm wondering if we're going to see them guys work together again, or if they've caught on to another damn partner. That's definitely the question they asked. The 10 car down there on the bottom got a good bump there, almost threw him back up in there to Aaron Richard. No, not to Aaron Richard, but into Marcus Richards. Almost threw him up there.
Yeah, that bump on the bottom with Gable and Richardson there, that definitely could be some issues. How about the one car, Femi Olot back there? He's in the back. He's just kind of tailing along here with Brian Ray. Brian and Femi just kind of ride. I know Brian's one of those guys, he will ride. He'll sit there at the end of the pack and just ride. And all of a sudden when the time comes, he is in the front, ready to win. And how cool would it be to see an upset? I mean, we got these guys that we've mentioned. And as we got a new leader, Brett Pancari has pushed DeMerchant out to the front. And remember, DeMerchant's a lap down, so the 19 going to go to the lead.
Should give the 33 a set to Merchant once he crosses the start-finish line here. Should give him his lap back, I believe.
That's correct. He will. He will have his lap back. So, tell you what, those viewers watching us, here's your chance. You've watched so far the first 100 and some odd laps in this race. How are you feeling? How do you feel about the race? Share your thoughts, your opinions if you're a driver. If you want to share your thoughts on what you've been a part of. I know, unfortunately, some of you are probably angry or mad that, Porto and a Cheney. They saved it. But share your thoughts on the race so far as Chance Crum's going to go back to the lead with Aaron Davis.
Hey, what? Taking a look at that 19, Brett Picari is still up on that high side, making it work. But tell you, these guys make me really just take a deep breath here when they're up there that high to that wall there. I'm just kind of watching to see if there's any contact being made up there. You know, here at Daytona, you definitely want as less contact as you possibly can, especially on the front end of those cars out there, Chris, because it's definitely going to affect you in the draft if you get any damage out there.
It definitely can affect you. And I want to go off this lead pack here for a second. Hopefully nothing happens as I watch Marcus go right up the middle on DeMerchant. Oh, door slam with Davis.
Oh, the 10 car going below the line there. About got it a little bit sideways. As you can see, he's trying to oversteer the car. It's coming back up on the corner, but he's going to have control over it. He's going to hang it in there. Get control back over it.
There you go. He's got his lap back, and Marcus Richardson to the front. I think, or is Marcus? Actually, Marcus is on the tail end of the lead lap. Marcus did not get his lap back on that caution, so unless say Marcus is leading, I'm like, why did my thing not update over here? It's Marcus is actually 18th right now. The last car in the lead lap. Him and DeMerchant are battling for position actually here.
Yes, battling for position, and I tell you, I know that these guys, unfortunately, I'm going to say this, I know that they're looking for a caution, because if a caution does come out at this point, that will put them all the way back around at the end of the lead lap. That way they can work their way back up through the field. Right now they're just hanging on by a thread by staying up front and keeping that lead going as far as holding on to their lead lap.
Your leader right now, Aaron Davis. Justin Gable there in second. Cheney Femi Olot. And a battle back there for fourth with Brandon Pipgrass. He hadn't mentioned his name a lot here, but I want to check back here to the second pack of cars. Richard Schwint, Nathan Hagar is back here. Darren Moyer, who's a lap car. And he got Nick Caressel and Tyler Ducharme back in 12th and 13th. They were up front earlier, and they are pushing each other, trying to get up to that other pack. You got Brian Bible, Miguel Gomez, and then Jake Nickel out here on his own with Kevin O'Brien. Those are the cars on the lead lap. Is they're 3 wide again. Oof, wow. Close.
Yeah, it's very close. I tell you, these guys really taking, you're going to see some of these guys start taking some few chances here and there, especially when they're trying to work that lap back. Still 3 wide as they're coming out of turn 2, side by side. Keep in mind, guys, this track out here is very bumpy, so these guys are really wheeling this thing around here. So it takes some skill to definitely be riding right up in the middle with this bumpy track with these new Gen 6 cars out here.
Well, and I can go ahead and defend these guys and say these guys all race with each other. They're a part of not only USRC but Sim Racing Authority. A lot of these guys race with each other. And that's where I think the comfort level. As I say that, Davis in the wall. Here we go. Game on a chance. Crum. Oh, that's a lick.
Hard lick down here in turn 1.
That's going to bring the caution out. We might need a hearse over in turn 4.
Wow. Caution. Caution is out.
And let me look here. I believe DeMerchant and Marcus will both get their lap back here. I'll have to check on that. Depends on where Cheney. There's the wreck. Man, Gable hit that thing a ton.
I am taking a better look back here. It looks like the Chris, it looks like the number 1 car coming out of the turn 4 there may have slid up just a little bit to connect with the 29, and once he connected with the 29, like there was a little contact between the 29 and the 20 car that just got it all started.
What I want to see here is when the caution comes out. Looking for it. Caution's still not out yet, and I think... Did the caution not come out?
Caution is out right now.
You know what? Marcus got his lap back then, because I'm looking here. That's why I was riding with them. Marcus will get back on the lead lap. He has battled his way and got it the hard way.
Wow. Tough break for Lance Crum there. Been running up front just about all day and just got kind of tied into that incident there. But, you know, I think his pit crew is going to do a good job when they go into pits here and going to be able to fix everything that he got damaged out there, Chris.
Yeah, a lot of these cars are going to be able to do that here. We should see some pit stops, as right now we have 85 laps to go, if I do the math correctly. 110 up there is throwing me off now, so I got to do the math in my head here. But because it is a 200-lap race, and we're already past halfway as the leaders come to pit road. And I'm told admin sue the caution for that, so very good move on their part. Thanks, Andy. Hagar going to do the, oops, I purposely accidentally went through pit road, as I call it. Cheney going to win the race off pit road easily. Yeah, sometimes you'll see people do it. I do it myself, where it's like you want to be in the back, so you just kind of go through pit road and just drive through it so that you could pit at 1 to go and get gas.
Gotcha.
So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually, we've been going for 115 laps or so here, so I'm going to step away actually, and we're going to go mute here for a second on the stream, and we're going to keep the race up. We'll call this a commercial, so to say. This is your chance. Go get a drink. Go do whatever you got to do, and we're going to come back and go green here in just a couple minutes. All right, back at Daytona as we get ready to go back racing here. Rick Donathan, Chris Scallon in the booth. Just had a chance to go and talk with the admins. Appreciate all their help there, and talking about some things that have happened so far in this race that might be need to look at for next season as we take notes. It's our first time running this race, and it's been a learning, but it's definitely been a lot of fun. And Rick, I think the fans deserve it. We've had a long green flag, couple long green flag runs here, so we're going to step back. We've tried it a couple times. We're going to try a third time here. We're going to shut up and let them go wide open here and let you guys enjoy the Daytona 500 here on iRacing and on For Races Only TV. Femi Olan up in the front. We got some new players starting to show face here in the lead as Olan has gone to the front. As we have 80 laps to go here in Daytona. Brian Ray, another new name. Tyler Ducharme starting to pop back into play here. Miguel Gomez into play. Rick, it's business, as DW would say, starting to pick up.
Absolutely. Taking a look back up here at the top, you know, you got Brian Ray and the 35 of Miguel Gomes there. It looks like those two guys are starting to work pretty well with each other, trying to make some things happen there on the bottom line. But again, that 4 of Derek Bardou making that high line work with the help of Bobby Chaney as they're there on the backstretch.
Brad Pancari there, Tyler Ducharme, Seth the Merchant back on the lead lap. He is there. Marcus Richardson back into play. We got 17 cars on the lead lap here, and all of them are right here in this pack.
Hey, what Brett Picari, what I said earlier, the Blue Goose out there, really making it work pretty good out there on that low line as the 24 makes a quick change there. And Bobby Chaney gets a little bit low on that low end there to try to take over the lead, and he does beat Derek to the start-finish line.
Yeah, this is, I think we're really going to start picking up here. So a good portion of these guys I should share that you're seeing in this pack ran in that dual race that we ran last Sunday that saw the 30 lead changes in 50 laps. Don't be surprised if we see the last 50 laps have about 30 lead changes again.
Absolutely. I tell you, you got the skill of the drivers right now running up front up there, so you're definitely going to see a lot of lead changes. And talking about changes, I know the the folks over at Twitch watching the show right now, taking a look at some of those shots that you've got over there, Chris. Some really awesome shots that you've got of those cameras out there on the track. Really put you right in the front door of this race.
Yeah, I tell you what, and that's a big friend of mine, Douglas Beard, a friend of mine who we raced together actually as part of a racing team. But Douglas has put these cameras together. They're the real-life cameras you see on TV. He will literally go in there and dissect every camera in every race, and he goes and builds them and puts them here in iRacing, and that's what you're seeing here. This is the closest thing you're going to get in any of the 500s you race this weekend, racing or watching. This right here will be the closest you see to the real-life broadcast, and that's not to sound arrogant or anything like that. That's more just because I'm being honest. Not many people use these camera sets like this. As we see 3 wide up at the front, but this is it right here in front of you. Pancari bottom, Bordeaux in the high side there, and Cheney in the middle.
Yep, looks like the 08 of Tyler Ducharme has got himself worked back up there toward the front. He struggled there for a little bit, but he's back up there running with Derek Bordeaux.
Yeah, and those two definitely know how to run with each other. They like to race with each other, race clean and race hard. As you see Brett Pancari getting pushed by Femi Olot. That one at old school Jeremy Mayfield paint scheme. That was one of the cooler paint schemes back in the 90s. And 2000s there, they're running there. See, Chance Crum has actually lost the pack a little bit. He's some 3.4 seconds back. Kind of shocked by that a little bit.
Hey, looking at the 33 of Seth the Merchant. Now, he was a lap down a little earlier. He had that caution to come out. Seth the Merchant got his lap back. Now he's currently running in 5th place. But I'll tell you what, his big partner here today of Eric Davis is behind the pit road wall. So he's definitely going to be trying to find a new dance partner here. And it seems to be doing a really good job working with that 08 of Tyler Ducharme.
Yeah, Aaron Davis tough break, led some laps, so bad for him. I'm not sure if Aaron used all of his resets up early in the race. He must have, but you know what? I applaud Aaron Davis's effort. Aaron, a young man, just to kind of talk about him a little bit. Aaron's a young man who he's had his issues. He gets out there and races hard, and unfortunately get himself in a bad spot and something would happen to him. And I've seen a lot in the last year or so, and I think it's with help from with Cheney and Marcus Richardson. I mean, he has turned into a kid who can drive a truck or a car or whatever he's in and put that thing up front. And the only way he can go is up now. So I want to send a shout out to Aaron. Great job there running up front. Just a tough situation for him. As we see DeMerchant going to the front.
The Merchant back up front on top of the leaderboard right there with Brent Pancari.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I just rather call him Blue Goose.
I'm about to
tell you what, those guys making it work here. And Seth, tell you what, excellent driving from him here today so far. Tell you, he's put on a show. Had a little bit of bad luck, got a lap down, stayed in the race, drove hard, didn't give up. And tell you, that's what happens. You don't give up. You look forward, and there he is back on the top of the leaderboard. Done an excellent job here early in the race. And like I say, got into some bad luck. But tell you what, this kid is he's on his way to possibly a victory here today.
Absolutely. And he's done a great job here in this race. And I tell you what, I want to go to the mid-pack here for a second, and Rick, and bring up some names that I have, if I've said once, if not many times at all. Let's look back here. 10th place, Jake Nichols in the 73. He's been involved in incidents. He's out of resets, and he's in the running right now. Nick Caress on the 13, running that Little Trees old school paint scheme. That number 13, he's up there. Richard Schwent, Superman with a chance. Now, Superman last year won the NIS fixed 500, and he still has that over us. We actually have a little group that runs in the fixed races of about 5, 6, 7 of us. He was the only one to win a race last year in the whole NIS. So he's got that over our heads right now. Nathan Hagar. Darren Moyer. Haven't said a word about Darren. In the 15th spot, chance to win this race. So some names to look to potentially here as we get into the last 65 laps of this race.
I was just going to bring up Darren Moyer running that number 3 out there. Been real quiet here today, but I tell you what, we may not have been talking about him a whole lot, but my eye has been on him. He's been very quiet, ran a good race. He stayed out of trouble. And tell you what, I look for him to be up there in a top 5 car toward the end of this race. Now, if you look just a little bit further back, Chance Crum that got in that last incident, looks like the pit crew was able to fix the car out there, but he's trying to chase down that group of field up there that's running right now. Yeah. So definitely keep your eye on him.
Yeah, he's still got a chance. No pun intended. Cheney hit the wall, and he's okay. Nice save on his part. That could have been bad. But yeah, he's got his car fixed, and no pun intended, like I say, he's got a chance, and we got trouble. Gomez is spun around. Jake Nichols is in it. Not sure if that's going to bring a caution out. I don't see the yellow lights on yet. I told the admins to use their best discretion if they should throw a caution out, because they were asking me, and I told them to use their best. Looks like they're going to keep it green, as that happened in the back. Gomez and Jake Nichols, unfortunately, involved in that one.
Yeah, it looks like they come out of turn 4 there in the 35 car. Miguel Gomes got bounced up just a little bit above that low line there, and the 73 of Jake Nichols, just his front bumper was sticking out there just a little bit when the 35 of Miguel came back down and kind of hooked that bumper there. So that's why those two guys got into it there.
Tough break for both of them.
We're still green flag.
We are still green, and we have 70 laps to go here in the 500, 130 complete. Tyler Ducharme is now in the front. And I just put the question over in the chat, Rick. Sorry to cut you off there. I just put the chat up while you were talking, letting the viewers pick who's going to win the 500. Got plenty of options here. And a lot of great names here who have done a good job surviving.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, that 08 Tyler Ducharme is still working his way up there up front. Doesn't have a dance partner there. They just kind of left him out there. And you're going to see that the first car, Marcus Richardson, which he is back on the lead lap, working with Seth the Merchant. Those guys are starting to pull away from the field up there, working with each other. I'm just looking for somebody to kind of latch on to Ducharme there to kind of give him a little bit of help to catch that field up there. Bobby Cheney is going to be the next one in line to kind of grab a hold of that back bumper there and push him back up there to catch those guys leading the race right now.
Good to see Mr. Vladimirovich Putin here in the race, or in the chat with us. Vladimir, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there, is Aaron Davis. So good to see Aaron Davis here with us. Justin Gable here in the chat with us after his unfortunate deals. There in the 10, Taylor Swift, unfortunately, I'm going to cheer on Jonathan Thomas for a second here, because in 19 laps he'll pass Justin Gable, which would put him 22nd, and there would be nothing better than a Taylor Swift 22 joke. Just putting it out there.
Wow. Tell you what, DeMerchant looking on the inside of Marcus Richardson, wanting to try to take the lead here. It looks like he's going to take the lead.
Oh, I'm seeing a lap car of Jonathan Thomas. Oh, boy. Oh, he's in the wall. Stay up there.
There you go.
Hey, climb the wall. Why not? Do whatever.
Well, you see him turn the wheels hard to the right there.
Caution's out, though.
The car high.
Caution is
out.
out.
That's a good job.
Oh, my gosh. That could have been bad.
Well, I tell you what, again, excellent driving from him on his sake. I know that the last thing he wanted to do was end up causing an accident. If you'll look real close, if we can get a rewind on that, a replay, you can see where he just turned the wheels hard to the right into the wall to keep it high away from these guys. That was an excellent job driving to keep the field from getting into his incident there.
Yeah, tough break there for Jonathan in the 5. As he has already had enough trouble today, and now unfortunately, he sacrificed him. He put himself in the wall to try to let the leaders by, and he took himself out doing it. So.
A little incident here that took place. The 24 just got into the back of 33, Seth the Merchant, under caution.
What just? That's not good. Now there's going to be some unhappy people. Looks like everybody was checking up. Oh, yeah, wow. Cheney in the back of the Merch. I know that wasn't on purpose at all. Cheney is not one of those kind of people. That's got to be just an accidental deal. Cheney's probably apologizing out the ass there. That's something that I know that's not Cheney-like, so that's got to be a mistake on his part. And let's hope he's got some a reset there to use. I'm thinking he does, but tough break for both those cars.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, heavy damage on Cheney's front end there. DeMerchant got a little bit of damage on the back end. I'm not sure if that's going to really affect him in the draft, but Cheney, it will affect him in the draft. They're coming down pit road, and we'll see what happens here, Chris. See if that pit crew can knock out some of the dents out of the front end there. That way he can catch back into the draft there, and it won't affect the car as much, but we'll see.
Yeah, pit stop's happening right now. And Richard Schwint, Hagar, those guys, they accidentally going through pit road on purpose. And Ducharme's going to win the race on pit road. Trying to see who's got resets here and who doesn't. Looks like Cheney's still on pit road. He must have used those resets. Unfortunate for the 24.
Taking a look there, definitely they're sitting there banging out the dents as much as they can. DeMerchant pulling out of the track, won't be able to get a lot of that damage fixed on the back end. And it looks like they're going to pull Cheney behind the pit road wall there. Unfortunately for Cheney here, which done a magnificent job here racing, running that the 24 machine up front quite a bit here this evening at Daytona International Speedway.
Oh, tough break for the 24, and unfortunately, those little things will happen like that. I know Bobby's going to be pissed at himself and upset, and I know that's something he didn't mean to do, but if anybody in iRacing right now says they have never done something like that before, I'm going to call you a liar right here on the air.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I tell you, it's tough to do, and, you just don't never know until you're out there behind the wheel and knowing what's going on, what's being said. There's so many things that's going through these drivers' minds at this point in time. We got less than 70 laps left here at Daytona. It's coming upon the last we're 3/4 all the way through this thing here. So definitely there's going to be some mistakes that's going to be made out there.
It looks like maybe no, they're going to wait till one to go here. But Brian Ray going to stay out here and lead. Let's he doesn't have a microphone, so I can't really talk to Marcus. I don't think so. Let's grab.
How about Brett Punkara? He has done a great job.
You want to talk to the Blue Goose?
Absolutely. I want to talk to the Blue Goose.
All right. Brett Punkari, Chris Gallagher, Donathan Booth, get a copy.
I got you guys.
Well, congratulations. One, you've done a great job in this race, but number two, you've earned yourself a nickname. As Rick Donathan has deemed you the Blue Goose.
What?
You got a blue car and you're running fast, I guess. We'll have to have Rick explain that one. But talk about your race so far in the 19.
I was trying to lay in the back most of the time. I got caught up in that one big one, and it was a bit of a hard leg, but I don't think it would have been too bad. But running the back it's kind of not what I kind of want to do. I'd rather be up at the front with these guys, and we're just brawling up here right now. And I think the car is okay. It's just going to be a matter of trying to survive near the end of the race.
Well, you've definitely done that in the 19. Do you have a car that can win this thing?
I hope so, but it's just a matter of survival, and I think at the end we're all going to drive like a bunch of crazed maniacs.
A couple quotes there for you. Crazed maniacs. We love it. Now, Pancari comes down to the last lap. Will you block somebody like you did a certain individual a couple nights ago?
I'll try and block him hardcore. And I know who I was blocking before, Scala.
Well, we wish you the best. Ricky, anything for Brett?
Brent, I just sat down here watching you race. It looks like you make a lot of things happen out there. It seems to be that the low line seems to be working good for you. Majority of the field out here, the high line has worked for them. Is anything you want to say about that?
I think it's more of a matter of where the momentum's going. You get such a big closing rate, like I said in the draft before, and to me personally, I feel more comfortable running in the bottom, and probably my setup is way different than everyone else's. I just feel more comfortable being on the bottom, and probably the bottom's where you're going to have to be at the end. But I know in one of the practice races, Highline blew my doors off, so you're going to have to think with instinct and just hopefully you don't get smashed.
Well, I'll tell you what, I accidentally gave you the name of Blue Goose as the nickname up here. I believe Chris was talking about another driver called Blue Deuce, and when he said that, I just happened to be watching you on the track and watching you make the Toyota work. I just happened, it just clicked with me. A blue car had Blue Jays written on the side of it, is what I'm seeing. And the first thing that came to my mind was Blue Goose. Tell you what, now we're getting ready to come down here in the less than 70 laps here left in the race. Have you got a dance partner out there to work with?
It's hard to tell right now. I've been working with anyone and anything. We're going to see what happens.
All right,
we're about to go green.
I know we're about to go green. I'm going to let you go and let you focus, and we wish you the best of luck out there.
Thanks.
Brett Pancari running right now in the 5th position as we go back to racing. Tyler Duchar, Marcus Richardson, your top 2. Bordeaux, Pipgrass, Pancari, your top 5 as we're back green at Daytona. 63 laps to go.
63 laps to go, and I tell you what, Chase Crum has worked himself back up here in the 7th place position, right behind the Blue Goose of 19. So definitely keep your eyes open for him to see how he's going to play out. He got into a little earlier incident, and just tough break for him. But I tell you, it's good to see that he's back up there. He's ran a fantastic race so far here today. Led quite a few laps. I believe he actually led about 23 laps here today, and hopefully he can work himself back up there, back on the leaderboard.
I'm just really curious, what happens if we come to the finish and a Blue Goose is pushing a Blue Deuce or vice versa? That could be very interesting.
We're going to have one heck of a riddle going on up here in the booth.
I'm going to let you do the writing on that one. Richardson going to lead that lap. Again, for those who are just joining us on the stream, you see the 86 to go. When you look up there and see that, subtract 25 because that is the green-white checkered laps that are in the 225 that are added into it. So right now, subtract 86 from 25, you get 61. So that's how many laps there are to go right now. And if it does not end under green, that's where these extra 25 laps will come into play. As you see, Pipgrass on the outside looking for the lead. Unfortunately, he's going to get hung out to dry.
Man, I tell you what, I was just noticing that Chris Pipergrass out there on the outside. Nobody went with him out there, just left him hanging. Man, I tell you that, you got to remember things like that. When you bear down to about the last 10 laps, you start looking around and say, that guy left me hanging, and that guy left me hanging. But I tell you, now's the time to start trying to find a dance partner to take you the rest of the way to green here at Daytona.
Pick your partner and do and work your way to trying to get that trophy. As I mentioned, somebody here in just a little bit is going to be a Daytona 500 champion. And they're going to win that trophy right there. I've been showing it off to the viewers.
Oh, I tell you, Derek Bardew, Marcus Richardson banging door handle to door handle back on the backstretch there as they enter into turn 3. Bardew up on the high side gets real close to that wall up there. Tell you, that wall's been pretty hard header today. Chris, it's really knocked some key drivers out here today.
Yeah, it's definitely had some victims, and it's always hungry looking for another. As we got 150 miles to go officially now to Daytona 500. We appreciate all the viewers. I didn't even have a chance to send a shout-out as they're starting to look like settle out. I'm seeing a big single-file line starting to form up here. I'll give a shout-out to the viewers who have been here today. And I'm going to give ones especially to ones who I've not ever seen here in this chat. And I want every one of you to hit a follow button because you know what? We got a race coming up later tonight that I'd love for everybody to come back and be a part of. But Chips, that's an interesting name. Pork Chop Polly. That might be the coolest name I've seen yet. Horton 28's here. Lorik, I believe is how that's pronounced. Ghost Streak. Jenico's, I believe that's how it's pronounced. We got Chef Beef 8, Pasty Toasty, or Toast. There's some interesting names here. What's this? Tick Tock Rob? Oh, Robot Crotch. Interesting. Armstrong Man. We got Raven Lord 69, Waffle House 87, Day and Night, I believe that's how that's said. Mr. Viper 13, Pats Fan 68. I wonder if he deflated anything before he came in here. Meg Faded, Nick Randolph, I believe that's how that's said. We got Tiger Strike 26. We got Bronx Bomber 585, Team 48 Lows. All these guys in here. Raptor 316, Thomas Axum, Team Pancake Syrup. Interesting. Cowboy Customs, Daydark 1337. And Volcom down there, but the rest of the guys here, and those I didn't mention names, those are the new guys I just want to mention who I've never seen in here before. We appreciate it, as always, you guys streaming and watching the race. And tonight, Sim Racing Authority, I'm going to put it out there now, 7 o'clock. We'll go on the air about 7:30.
Oh, we got an incident.
Trouble. Oh, big one here. Caressel. Actually, it's not as big as it looks. Caruso's spinning. Hagar's going to get some damage.
I'm taking a look here at the replay right now. Man, looks like Crum is going to be involved in that.
Yep, Chance Crum, the 87, going to be in it also. I just saw somebody post to you. You almost missed a wreck, and I turned, and there's a wreck.
Wow. Chance Crum got a little bit of damage out of that, but I think he's going to be okay.
Let's see what happens.
Knocked a few drivers out.
Oh, you know what? Nick went to crossover back on the inside lane. Oh, and he got bumped. Unfortunately, Chance in the back of Caruso. Who else did it? Gomez in it. Looks like Schwintz got some damage. Darren Moyer going to be in it.
Wow, you got to look at that replay of the number 3 of, man, who's my number 3? Darren Moyer. You've got to take a look at the driving that this guy just did. He went through all of that, and I don't think he got any damage at all.
We're on board with Darren. If he did, it's
right.
Barely any. Let's back up again.
Wow.
Okay. There we go.
Tell you what, I believe that was just one of those incidents where you
How did he do that?
Just close your eyes and just hope that you come out good on the other end there.
That is amazing. Wow. But we can call that one probably the biggest wreck of the night so far there. As we said, business picking up, 55 laps to go. And I think we've had our little big one of the day.
Absolutely. I tell you, man, these guys, it's unfortunate. Hopefully some of these guys have still got some resets left here. And it looks like the 73 got banged up pretty good there, and that definitely have to keep an eye on that, see if they're able to fix him. That's Jake Nichols.
As Marcus Richardson leads them to pit road here. They will still have to make one more green flag stop as Ducharme, thank God he had an empty pit stall in front of him. He would have killed somebody. Pancari going to win the race off pit road. Looks like fuel strategy for him. Pipgrass going to be second. Ducharme, Chance Crum. And a lot of these guys probably taking tires at this point so they can set up and not take tires later on in the race.
Absolutely. I'd say it looks like we're going to be looking at about 64 laps at this point right now left in the race here. Now, I tell you, taking a look at Chance Crum, he got into that incident a little bit, and I'm noticing he's got a little bit of front-end damage on that. Now, I'm not sure, Chris, if that's going to affect him in the draft or not. We'll definitely see here in just a few when these guys get ready to go back to green. So my eyes are definitely going to be watching him to see how much it's going to affect his car.
Yeah, we're going to have to see here, and the only way to find out is when we get to racing here. So, I don't know, man. It's going to be wild. Get the popcorn. I know Slamaflage earlier had his popcorn out. And now Aaron, let's behave. Don't bash any leagues. But, yeah, I think get our popcorn, whatever you're eating for dinner. I know I myself am going to make some chicken tenders here in a little bit as I get between races. But I started to say earlier, Sim Racing Authority has their league race tonight at Homestead. Their finale is coming up. We invite all the viewers to come back tonight at 7:30. They're going to crown a champion, their final champion outside of a chase format. So that'll be coming up at about 7:30. We'll go live for that. I'm going to take the break for a couple hours and get rested up, and we'll come back for, I think it's 100 laps tonight. I'm not sure, Bobby or somebody in the league, correct me if I'm wrong. But that race will be coming up, and you're going to see a battle between Cheney and Kyle Putz. Actually, 2 straight nights they're both battling for that championship, and then we'll come back Tuesday. We got a Darren Moyer 6-pack challenge for USRC, which I didn't even get to mention earlier. Top 5 from Bristol a few weeks back. People joking me, sending me jokes about Superman. That's kind of funny. Have a chance, if they win at Talladega coming up Tuesday, then they'll win $20 from Darren Moyer. And then Wednesday, you got the race where a winner's going to win $15, and a random driver finishing will get 10. So there's money and championships on the line all throughout this week. And but that will be with the Extreme Motorsports 99 at the Texas Motor Speedway. We'll broadcast that race live coming up 8:30 Wednesday evening. Trying to go off top of my head here, but I believe that Nicholas Orth is the point leader in that series. So I could be wrong by that, but just going off memory.
Yeah, I believe you're right there, Chris. And I'm just trying to do some update over here on this end here for Wednesday night's truck race. Nicholas Orth definitely in the lead, 33 points above Kevin Ford. No, I'd like to also let our viewers know Kevin Ford is one of our Road Series guys, ranked second in the world in Road Series, and currently, I just talked to him the other day, he's currently in third place in the world as of right now. So we wish him the best out there, and definitely would love to see him finish out as first place in the world through the Road Series.
Absolutely, and we actually tried to get Kevin to run with the Squirrel team that we had for the 500 or for the 24-hour race, and he had other obligations, unfortunately. But Kevin, a great road racer, and him and I have talked about road racing because I'm that guy that just isn't that good and would like to learn how to do it. So I've talked with him a little bit, and he's a great guy to get to know and get to talk to. So, but it looks like we're about to go racing here, and we're going to have 53 laps to go. So I had to do the subtracting of 25 laps. So 53 laps to go in the race. And Brett Pancari, your leader. Brandon Pipgrass into 29 is second. Tyler Ducharme in third. Chance Crum is fourth. And Marcus Richardson is your top five. Femi Olot, Derek Bordeaux, Seth the Merchant, Brian Ray, Nathan Hagar, your top 10. Superman's 11th. Darren Moyer, Brian Bible, Bobby Zielinski, all in the top 14. A chance to win this race. And also Jake Nichols there, 15th. As I'm looking, only 16 cars are left in this race. We've lost half the field to wrecks this evening, most of it happening here recently. So just to name a few of those guys who are Gomez, Caressel, Cheney, Richard, Davis, Thomas, Gable, Pops, Rasmussen, just to name a few who are out. Lane, Sercoy, Key, Dennis, Shipman, Sizemore, Newland, Lambert, Downing, Northrop, Welsenbach, and Redmond all out of this race in what has been a pretty wild one, actually.
Well, we're about to go green here, and it's going to be interesting to see how Brett and Brandon Pipegrass, is that Pipegrass?
Pipgrass.
Pipgrass.
Close enough. And we'll go back to racing. 52 to go, so just over 125 miles left. ARCA, the best in brakes, as they say, boys.
Tell you what, got my eye on Marcus Richardson back there with the four of Derek Bordeaux to see how those guys are going to end up coming through the field. But I tell you, my eyes are definitely on Seth the Merchant. And, he's run a phenomenal race here today, working himself back up to the front. He's done it twice now. And he's just done a tremendous job driving. 29 up in the wall there. Looks like he got bounced up there in the wall. That's going to be the 29 of Brandon Pipgrass. Wow.
This is crazy. 66 viewers. That definitely is going to break a record for Races Only TV. Appreciate everybody coming in here today and watching this Daytona 500. Somebody going to win an awesome trophy. Chance Crum already won $10, leading the halfway point earlier today. Congratulations to Chance on winning that. Yep, Bobby Zielinski back on the lead lap. Plenty of people with chances to win this race. And Chance Crum up there pushing Ducharme.
Tell you what, taking a look back there, Richard Schwinn, you were talking about him earlier, Mr. Superman. Looks like him and the three of Darren Moy are trying to get something together there to try to catch that pack before they end up leaving them. Those guys better start thinking pretty quickly, getting work on trying to get together there and work that draft to catch back up with that crew. Tell you, there seems to be like two groups of people here that ends up falling into two groups, Chris, and that definitely this late in the race here, definitely don't want those two groups falling apart there. You want to try to stay in the big group up at the front as much as you can.
Well, I can tell you this, Superman and those guys back there in that second pack, I wouldn't be surprised if they are purposely falling back a little bit, just to kind of maybe play strategy to avert the wreck if the leaders were to wreck, but also they're just trying to ride to get to the finish. We still have 40 laps or 50 laps to go here, still 125 miles. I know 50 is not a big number, but 125, that's a bigger number.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, Tyler Ducharme, the 08, he is made it work here today, Chris. I tell you, he has had his ups and downs in this race, but right now, working with him, Brett Picara, what I like to say, the Blue Goose, seems to be working pretty good right now. Marcus Richardson just waiting for any mistakes to happen right now. Chance Crum, it doesn't seem like anything is holding him back, even with a little bit of damage that he's got on there. He is still competitive. He is still in this race.
Anybody on the lead lap right now? There are 14 cars, I believe, on the lead lap. Every single one of these 14 have a chance to win the Daytona 500 coming up here in just a little bit or so. Oh, Marcus gets loose in the tri-oval.
Little loose. He hangs on to it, man. I tell you, looks like he may have got a little bit of wind resistance there on the front end of that car. Got him a little loose. Didn't see any contact with anything. Just got the rear end just wanted to come around with him down there on that bottom apron there, Chris.
Remember, your car gets light in that section of the track. And Marcus is going to make a move outside, but that car gets light in that tri-oval. It's only 18 degrees of banking. You're going 190, almost 200 mile an hour into these into the corners there. And on 18 degrees of banking, that car's loose and it's very light.
Tell you what, taking a look back there at that 55 of Richard Schwinn now, it looks like that group has really got right onto the tail end of the big group that's running up front up here. About to make one big group of guys. Maybe he's watching. He may have heard what I said a little earlier there. Bobby Zielinski working with him there. Darren Moyer that came out of that wreck. Oh, got a little incident there. Got a little sideways. Wow.
That was close. That was close. But I do want to throw out there, I promised this earlier in the race, and I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to hit the button, and we're going to let you guys who are new to iRacing, not seen this or whatever before, I have got the chat open right now, which is probably a mistake on my part, but you'll be able to hear these drivers at times. Chat, we'll do it for a couple minutes here while we're talking. But tell you what, these guys they're fighting right now for their lives, as there's still 45 laps to go here, or 47 to go right now, but anybody can win this race. Anybody. Marcus Richardson going to take the lead. Chance Crum there on the outside.
Yeah, just taking a look there, Chance Crum, Marcus Richardson. Now, I believe those guys are going to do what they can to work with each other. But, you know, I'm scratching my head. Derek Pardue, he's worked with several guys up front here. I'm not quite sure who is a dance partner with who. I think these guys are just working with whoever they can work with to get to the front. And I tell you, that's not going to work when we get down to about the last 2 laps.
I'm not going to wreck you.
Somebody's going to have to make a move and stick with a partner.
Yeah, exactly right. And you hear some of the chat going on. Kevin O'Brien chat with somebody. Not sure who that was. But, yeah, I'm almost to the point thinking that anybody, whoever you're behind is going to be your partner right now. I mean, like right now you see a Chance working with Marcus. You see Brett working with Bordeaux. You're going to see them two working together. It just seems like every lap it's somebody different. And when it comes down to 5 to go, all bets are off. You're not working with anybody at that point. You're just going to try to get to the front and make the moves you need to win that race.
Absolutely. Tell you what, taking a look over here at the chat, just want to give everybody a reminder. Now remember, this is a 200-lap race. It's showing 70 to go, but we've got 25 laps extra in there just in case if we have a caution that happens before the last few laps. We want to make sure that this race finish under green. So we will have a green-white checkered if that's possible. We've extended the race to 25 laps just to extend that out to a green-white finish here.
Yeah,
today.
right.
Yes.
And right now, so you subtract the 69 from the 25, and if I do the math correctly, carry the 1. That should be 44 laps to go now. Here in the 500, Bordeaux leading now. DeMerchant going up to the front. He jumps to the bottom. 3 wide in the middle's Richardson.
I'm basically new forming
DeMerchant back up front there. The 08 of Derek Pardue, the Tyler Descharmes working together there. Derek Pardue looking on the outside. The 2 of Marcus Richardson going to connect with the 4 of Derek Pardue. Try to make something happen. Aaron Richards goes up high. They're 3 wide coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, Marcus Richardson there on the outside, and I thought they were going to go 4 wide for a second there.
And the number 1 car of FEMA Olat coming up right through the middle there, Chris. Man, I tell you, we're going to see 3 wide racing going into turn 3 here.
Yeah, nice race by Femi. I saw somebody post in the chat a second ago. Femi has raced for a while, and then there was times he took off, and Femi is yet to... oh, and there in the wall! Femi! Here go the leaders! Chance Crum. Marcus with heavy damage. And that might be it for the Deuce. He might be done. Unfortunately, reset-wise, we'll have to see, but he's on pit road now. Caution out again.
I tell you what, the 83 of Chance Crum got caught up in that again. I tell you, tough luck for him here today.
Let's see what happens here. I was just about to say, Femi, this could be that big win, according to people in chat. Let's see what happens here. Looks like Femi just went up and bam, into Marcus. Didn't see who else got damage in it. Everybody else. I'll tell you what, another wreck that could have been a lot bigger that only like 3 people were involved in.
Yeah, I tell you what, another thing to think about, Chris, is definitely one thing that we've learned here today, and it's happened, I believe this is either the second or the third time, is that you don't want to be that middle car on this old Daytona track in the Gen 6. You don't want to be the car in the middle. Obviously, there's some bumps coming out of turn 4 there that definitely throws you way up toward the wall there, and if somebody's on the outside of you, there's what's going to happen.
As I look, yep, there was contact, and Pancari did get a little bit of damage on the nose, it looks like. Chance Crum slams the inside wall hard. Ducharme and Schwint and a bunch of people went through the grass in pit road to miss that wreck.
Yeah, I tell you, they're coming down pit road right now. This may be the last time we see him come down pit road to finish this thing out, Chris.
Well, let's see. No, there's 41. I don't think they can go 41 laps on this tank. But who knows? Cautions breed cautions. Pancari going to win the race off pit road. Nathan Hagar going to come out second. You were saying?
Hey, well, taking a look up right now, the 73 of Jake Nichols up there leading the... Now, are we going to see Jake go ahead and try to go get an EOL? Is he just going to try to get a one-lap bonus point here? Are you giving out bonus points?
No, because this is not a league race at all. So this is just a special event, and Nichols got a lot of nose damage there. So I don't know what his situation is. Maybe he'll pit next time by or something. He's trying to get as close to the pace car as possible to get damage fixed. That's my guess.
All right.
Good to see the 93 of Aaron Richards still out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we see the 73 of Jake Nichols goes into pit, that's going to leave Brent Pancari back up front. I believe he's going to be your leader. He got a few little bumps and scratches going through that incident there. He almost got a little sideways, but he was able to wheel that thing, keep it straight, and regroup, and he came out of that thing smelling like roses.
Yes, he did. And he's in good shape here, looking to pull off the upset in the Daytona 500, which anybody, as I mentioned, if you're on the lead lap, you can win this race. And here we are.
Hey, I'm just sitting up in the booth here, seeing how things are going to fall out. I'm scratching my head, Chris, on the 73 here, still staying out. Now, if he decides to stay up front there and just take off as the leader with the damage that he's got, I'm afraid we're going to have another incident that's going to take place. If his car is going to be able to keep up to speed, we may see a lot of check-up going on. Not sure about that.
Yeah, if you're somebody like Nathan Hagar right now, you're going to restart third. I hope he's aware of what's going to happen here with this damaged car in front. Not that Nichols can't handle it or something. Nichols might be smart enough, too, if he realizes, hey, I'm not fast enough, pull over and get out of the way. So we'll have to see how this is going to transpire, but it could be an interesting situation coming up here very shortly.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, Nathan Hagar, let's get him in the booth here. Let's see if we can get Nathan Hagar.
Let's get Mr. Hagar there. Bring him down here and chat. His mic is muted right now. Actually, let's see if I can get him somehow, some way here. There he is.
There he is.
Nathan Hagar, Chris Scallon booth. Get a copy. Hey, Hagar, we got Rick and I up here as you're running in the third position right now. Talk about the race so far for you.
Just trying to keep nose clean. I'm gonna come down pit road, top off, gonna try to make it from here on fuel.
Which is going to be a pretty good challenge. 40 laps to make it on a tank of fuel with 13.5 gallons of fuel. You think you can make it in 40 laps?
We're gonna be close.
All right, we'll have to keep track. We could have a whole nother monster here, Rick, on our hands with the fuel mileage. But go ahead, Rick.
Absolutely, I tell you what. And Nathan, looks like there for a minute we was going to see you starting third, and we saw the 73 staying out, but it looks like he's went into the pit. While we got you in the booth, anybody out there you want to thank?
Just Brian Ray. He built a heck of a setup, and we've been having fun with it.
Fantastic. Now let me ask you this, Nathan, have you got the setup that's going to put you in victory lane today?
I hope so. We're going to find out here in about 40 laps.
All right. Well, Nathan, I tell you what, we wish you the best of luck out there, and hopefully either Chris or I will be talking to you in victory lane.
Yeah, hope so. We'll see you then.
Nathan Hagar there. He pitted there with the leader, with Nichols. He's actually going to restart now. Nathan in the 11th position. So we'll see what happens as we come up. 39 laps to go into 500. Less than 100 miles. We're 400 in. And again, as I've said, 150 in, making 151 times now. If you're on the lead lap at the end of the race, you can win this. So when I say that, you look at Brett Pancari, you look at Bordeaux, DeMerchant, Pipgrass, Zielinski, Bible, Moyer, O'Brien. Where'd he come from? Ducharme, Brian Ray, Hagar, Nichols, even with the damage, Richard Schwint. All these drivers can win the Daytona 500.
I tell you what, Chris, just want to take time out just to let you know you got over 80 viewers watching this thing here today, and like I said earlier, you multiply that by 2 just for low views. That's 160 views you got here today, so magnificent job you put on here.
It's been a group effort, a bunch of good racers here. As we go back to racing, 47 to go, so track 25. Pork chop. And you see Bordeaux
taking a look.
Go ahead.
Yes, Bordeaux looking up on the outside. Now, he's been making that outside work all day here for him today. Got a little help there behind with number 29 of Brandon Pipgrass. But tell you what, though, Chris, that 19 of Brent, he's not going to give it up easy. And he's got a real good racer right there behind him of Seth DeMerchant running in at 33 that's been strong all day.
A name we haven't mentioned all day. Bobby Zielinski, the 21, started 5th. Was a lap down, involved in incidents, and here he is now with a chance to win. Darren Moyer there. Brian Bible is there. This is where the part where the guys who rode in the back, they're starting to show up now.
Well, like you said earlier in the race, Chris, as we start knocking these laps down and when we start getting a couple handfuls of laps left here in the race, we're going to start seeing guys that we haven't talked about all day simply because they've been patient. They've done nothing but just ride laps out here today. Now those names are going to start appearing.
Yes, they will. And the question comes down to now, who has fuel to get to the finish, if anyone does. If this goes green, there's one more stop in here because I know they're not going more than 30 to 35 laps on a tank of fuel. Now, if they get 1 or 2 cautions, then it becomes a possibility as Bordeaux's getting hung out to dry on the outside. DeMerchant going to make a move on the outside.
DeMerchant, that's the name we've been talking about a lot here today. He's running top 5 just about all the laps here today. Got into a couple incidents. He stayed out, was a lap down. He got his lap back, had a few more incidents. He's bounced his way back up through the front. I tell you, back up on top of the leaderboard, DeMerchant showing big muscle here today at Daytona.
He has done a great job. Pipgrass going to cross over. Don't go below that yellow line.
Tell you what, Pipgrass still working hard up there to make something happen. I tell you, we've seen him get kind of throwed out to the dogs there a lot earlier, but maybe the 19 of Pancari, who I'd like to say Blue Goose, may try to work with him. Tell you, the Merchant and Bordeaux, if they work together, that is a strong group right there, and I think the field does know it. So hopefully we'll see the 19 working with Pipgrass.
We got an interesting fish out of water situation here, and I say this because 2 totally different personalities of people. Richard Schwint and Tyler Ducharme working with each other here.
Tell you what, now let me ask you, Chris, Have you done the calculations on the 13.5 gallons? How many laps can these guys go on 13.5 gallons?
I'm doing the math in my head. If this is something from, I go back to, again, when NASCAR ran this fuel mileage, they were able to go 30 to 35. That was what I remember. So we'll see what happens.
But we do have a couple guys out in the group right now that's making the gamble here, that's going to put all of their chips on the board and try to take this thing all the way. Don't know if that's going to happen or not, Chris.
Anything is possible when you run in Daytona, and if you, again, have yourself there, you have a chance to win.
Tell you what, right now they're looking strong out there, side by side, front nose to bumper, 55 out there. Richard Schwinn still looking good as he's getting a little help from Tyler Ducharme.
Yeah, he is. And then Pipgrass up there in the front on the inside with Pancari. You got Zielinski back there. Brian Bible of 44 is involved in some incidents early in the race. He has a chance to win now as they're going to go by the lap car of Jake Nichols, who's leaving pit road.
Tell you what, they're right on top of each other out there. Now, this is where strategy comes in. These guys are really focused out there. And I tell you, another name I want to mention again that we hadn't talked a whole lot about today, Darren Moyer. That big incident that came out earlier, he was able to maneuver his car through that field there as they were just wrecking everywhere. And I think he went untouched through there and was able to pull it through. Oh, got a little below the apron there. Oh, no, he pulled it through.
Nice save on everybody's part there. That could have been UGLY.
You reckon, Chris, he may be watching or listening to the race in the background? I got his name.
I got his hope up a little bit there. The Fred J. Moyer, number 3, though, doing a great job, as we mentioned. As let's see if these guys decide to relax here for a few minutes. It's been wild the whole time. And one thing I've noticed, and I don't know if he had that damage in the past, but Pipgrass actually with some nose damage on that 29. So don't know how much that's going to play a role on the aerodynamics of the 29.
Tell you what, Bardou, DeMerchant working together up there. They're starting to pull away from the field a little bit. Pipgrass and Schwinn going to definitely have to do something here. The 19 of Pucara and Zalaski, somebody's got to work with somebody. It's time to find a dance partner before these guys get way out too far. DeMerchant looking on the inside.
Superman up to the 3rd position now. He's got help from Pipgrass. Pancari down there on the bottom. And you got Ducharme up there looking for some help from people.
Well, it looks like that back row back there right behind the 2 leaders up here, they're starting to kind of race each other, and as they're racing each other back there, these 2 guys up front, DeMerchant and Bardou, are starting to pull away. The 19 has got to connect with the 55 in order to make something happen here, and it looks like now they're starting to fall into a single line back there on the backstretch.
Derek Bordeaux looking to win a trophy and $10. Remember, Bordeaux had that challenge put out by Nathan Hagar, and he said if he could fall back to the back from the pole and win this race, Derek Bordeaux would win a bonus. And it's something, if I remember correctly, Hagar said to me that it was, I guess, some kind of tradition they do at short tracks or something where he's from, or I don't remember the whole story, and I'm probably way off, but it's just something that people like to do.
Well, I tell you what, if I haven't said it yet, I do want to make it known right now. Bordeaux started in the very last back of the pack today here with a field of 38 cars on the track. Started dead last, and he has worked himself all the way up to the front up here as him and DeMerchant switched there to make that famous switch that we all know that if you don't make the switch, you can blow the engine. 55 of Richard Schwinn looking
Superman
on the inside to take the win. Superman is going to be in the lead.
He must have got out of the phone booth. He's to the lead. Ironically, the ticker says 55 to go, and the 55 in the lead. There's actually 30 to go now. So 30 laps to go. Schwinn leads.
30 laps to go, and it looks like Blue Goose there must have caught on and working with him on the back bumper there. But I tell you, that strong group of DeMerchant and Bardou still making that outside line, that high side, making it work as they're still side by side coming out of turn 2 onto the backstretch.
Anything can happen here in these last 30 laps. As you know, this is what the 500 is all about. Who can win it? Who's going to pull it off?
Lots of lead changing going on here. DeMerchant still looking to have his front end out there just a little bit further than the Superman as he's rocking the Rockstar Energy 33 around the track. Getting that help from the Budweiser number 4 of Derek Bardou. Tell you what, looks like DeMerchant's going to lead that lap.
Yes, he is. Pipgrass up there in the top. Brian Ray's there. Darren Moyer trying not to lose the draft. You got Brian Bible, who's just riding there in the inside lane, number 44.
I noticed my guy, the number 3 of Darren Moyer's, kind of fell out back there toward the back. That's why it's real important, Chris, that these guys make sure they find a dance partner so that way they're not left out of the back of the pack back there. But it looks like maybe that number 90 or 19, number 44 of Brian Bible might be able to work with him.
That's absolutely correct, and we'll see here as we come up. 27 to go.
Oh, 29 of Pipgrass looking on the inside there, almost getting ready to. I thought he was going to take the chance there and try to put that thing up right between DeMerchant and Bardou.
He definitely had the chance to do so. He decided not to, so. But look at this move.
Oh, the 08 of Tyler Ducharme looking on the inside there. Makes it 3 wide, and we know how 3 wide is. 29 kind of falls back there a little bit. And I tell you, these guys are starting to scramble like a bunch of fighter jets in the air.
Scatter. Well, you know what? The tires, it comes into play too. As you start getting a little bit of the tires wearing out, and again, another green flag run here, as we've been seeing a lot of these throughout this race. I mean, these guys are smart. They just need to get single file right now and just ride, because you know what? You still got a pit stop coming probably if these guys stay green.
Absolutely. Looking at 25 laps left up on the board. I know that the viewers out there are showing 51 laps to go, or about 50 laps to go. And remember, we've got an extra 25 laps out there to ensure that we can get a green flag checkered, so that way we finish under green here at Daytona. So just keep that in mind. We got 25 laps left here in this race.
Tyler Ducharme on the bottom. He crosses over. Pipgrass crosses over as Bordeaux continues to lead. 25 laps to go in the Daytona 500. Who is going to hold the trophy?
Tell you what, my eyeballs keep sticking to that 55 Superman machine there of Richard Schwinn. Tell you, he's really holding ground up there, showing some skill, showing some muscle, as the 19 of Blue Goose of Brent Pucara is working with him. Those guys seem to be working pretty good with each other.
Everybody cooperating well with each other. These guys have been patient. The question is, can they be patient, as Ray kind of scrapes it up a little bit there, but are these guys going to be patient enough to get it to the finish? It could come down to a green-white checkered, as you mentioned.
It was the number 3 machine of Darren Moyer moved himself up to 7th position there. He was kind of out there by himself back here in the back of the pack, but he's made some things work. I tell you, I look to see that guy up in the top 5 within the last few laps that we have left here, Chris.
Yeah, there's not many laps to go. This racing really starting to pick up.
'08 machine of Tyler Ducharme looking on the bottom line there, trying to make something happen. The 55 machine of Richard Schwinn still trying to connect with that 08. Tell you what, making things work down there. If they come through the trial, Bardou still making it look easy with the help of DeMerchant on his back door. Those guys really making things click around the track here, Chris.
Absolutely. Yeah, anything can happen, and Bordeaux and DeMerchant just kind of rode right there on that top line, first and second, and they continue to lead. Ducharme going to slide up there, and that is not what his field wants to see, because now you're going to see Bordeaux, DeMerchant, likely Ducharme work together towards the end of this race and trying to settle it between themselves.
Tell you what, I'm just wondering, Chris, DeMerchant here has just been kind of following behind Bordeaux there. Don't really want to lose out of that draft there, because I tell you, position is everything right now. The 08 of machine of Ducharme really making it work on that bottom line. No help right now as they get ready to go into turn 1, but I tell you, you're going to see that top groove up there of DeMerchant and Bardou. They're going to really kind of put that thing up there close to the wall as they possibly can. The 29 machine of Pipgrass just seems to be kind of just laying out there behind those guys as the 08 of Ducharme is going to fall right back in behind DeMerchant.
I think the damage might be also in that 29 there. You see that nose damage on the left front. Could be putting a little damper on him. As here comes Brian Ray. He has been riding.
Brian Ray, another strong driver out there. He has showed some muscle earlier in the race, and tell you, I know that he got into a couple incidents out there, was able to recoup from that. Got the pit crew working on some things. Oh, I tell you, the 08 machine almost got a bumper on Seth DeMerchant as he was trying to fall back into the line there. So definitely DeMerchant and Bardou making those machines work the fastest right now.
Tell you what, everybody here battling it out. I thought they were going to go single file for a second. Now they've kind of spread back out in their own group here. Brian Ray, Richard Schwitt, Brett Pancari back there. Darren Moyer's in the pack, as you mentioned. Tell you what, there's a few guys here I can speak for that have not won many, if not any, league races when it comes to Sim Racing Authority or USRC or even Extreme Motorsports 99. I mean, some guys in it who I can mention who have not won many races. Schwint, Brian Ray, Darren Moyer, those guys, it's not from a lack of effort. They just haven't fallen their way. And you got guys who have won plenty of races with Bordeaux, DeMerchant, Ducharme, those guys. We could easily see somebody who doesn't win a lot go into victory lane.
Absolutely, and I tell you, one of those guys definitely can probably do it today is Tyler Ducharme, the 08 car. I was just watching him there for a few minutes, and I tell you, Chris making some things really work by himself. Even though DeMerchant and Bardou working together, he was able to put that 8 machine up there side by side with the 4 car of Bardou and challenge him for the lead, but he just didn't have any help. Bardou had the help from DeMerchant and was not going to be able to overtake that lead, but it just shows you how strong of a car he's got here today.
Yes, it is, and I tell you what, we have 19 laps to go now. Here in the 500 again, for those just joining us, add 25 or subtract 25 to the laps. Subtract 25 is what I'm saying, and we will. You'll see how many laps there are to go. We add 25 for the green, white checkered.
Oh, having a little bit of
somebody blinker fluid issues. Yeah.
Yep. I'm not. Oh, there we go. It looks like that's going to be the 3 of Darren Moyer there, kind of blinking in and out. See what happens to him there.
Yeah, Moyer not having the best of issues here. It looks like everybody's kind of just giving the space there. Moyer probably is talking with the guys in the chat saying, here's where I'm at, here's what's going on. But they all can understand. Looks like everybody's going to pull to the bottom. Moyer might try to fall to the back if he's having those kind of issues.
Ah, man, I tell you, I hate that for Moyer. Hopefully those connections will fix itself pretty quick. And I tell you what, now the leaders are coming up on some lap cars here, getting ready to go into turn 3 and 4. It's going to be a tricky little situation here we're coming up on.
Well, let's hope they pull to the bottom or put themselves in spots. Jake Nichols and Aaron Richard look like they're coming up on here. Let's see what they do. I'm sure they're communicating. Let's see. I got the chat on here. Let's see if they communicate with each other here for a second. Looks like Nichols going to pull off and let the leaders go. As for Aaron Richard, he's going to hold that bottom line.
We got a lap prep here, Pippi.
And you hear them chatting with each other.
You can come up, Deshaun. Thanks, bud.
And Aaron pulls off, so there you go. Nice move on his part.
Oh, then we got 3-way. Yes, here we go, 3 wide.
Everybody's.
I believe Brian Ray may have kind of stepped out of that just a little bit.
Okay, I was like, wait, is something wrong?
Yeah, just what we've had happen here today, especially that turn 4. You definitely don't want to be the car in the middle coming out of turn 4 there because it's definitely a bumpy ride. Looks like Brian Ray may have just let out of the gas there and didn't want to take the chance.
Cooler heads prevail. Nothing wrong with that. Derek Bordeaux leads it. It is Seth DeMerchant, Tyler Ducharme, Brandon Pipgrass, Richard Schwint, your top 5. As we will have 15 laps to go. And I'm telling you right, I have enjoyed this race. I know there's been wrecks, I know there's been cautions, but I have enjoyed the heck out of this race. And Rick, again, I appreciate you stepping up and taking, 3 hours now, 4 hours of your time to be here with us and broadcast this race. A lot of people I know, like you said, I talked about that truck race you did earlier at Street Motorsports 99. When we did that broadcast, I had friends saying, dude, go get him back in the booth with you. And you've saved my voice today because I got another race to do later tonight.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure being up in the booth with you here today, Chris. Always enjoyable, always up for a good show here. And I tell you what, I hadn't been let down yet. Everything has just been superb today. Like you said earlier, yeah, we've had a few cautions, we've had a few wrecks, but I tell you, if you pull the car off the trailer thinking that you're not going to be in an accident driving race cars, you are in the wrong sport.
And here we go. The pit stops are starting.
Pit stops are
Bordeaux,
starting.
Ducharme, DeMerchant, all coming to pit road.
Everybody had a good pit entry there. Wow, I just can't believe that the rest of the guys didn't come down pit road with these guys.
It's all part of the strategy here. So if I do the math here, they had 40 to go. This is happening. It says Zielinski's having issues on pit road. This is happening right now with 15 to go, so they were able to go about 25 laps. Which they could go longer, I think, but they were pitting to kind of split the race in half. Yes, Aaron, I am. So right now, Brian Bible is your leader, and the 4 cars here. Let's see when they come to pit road now.
Question is, are they going to have the fuel to go the rest of the way? I don't think so, Chris.
I don't think so.
I think these guys are going to still have to pit.
Yeah, I think everybody's got to pit still now. I think they need to pit shortly unless they're going to hope for a caution. But even then, you look at the pack up ahead here, they're ahead of them. So with a caution coming out right now, these guys would be behind the ones who just pitted. So I think Schwint's pulling down. He might be coming to pit road here.
Yes, looks like they're all getting ready to get lined up to enter pit road here. So we'll definitely have to see what happens here and what takes place. Now that 19 car, Blue Goose, question is
here they come.
Yep, there they come.
Oh, there goes the cone. Everybody's in.
Everybody's in. I'm taking a look back out here. Derek Bardou, Seth DeMerchant, Tyler Ducharme. Those guys still making it happen out there. Brandon Pipgrass, he's still out there, but it looks like he's struggling just a little bit with that front end damage, Chris.
Let's see. Everybody leaves pit road. Let's see what the leaders are now as everybody is out and clean. Bordeaux and everyone, the top 3, as you mentioned, Pipgrass kind of falling off a little bit here. If these guys can get up to speed. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Bordeaux and them are going to go trucking by.
Yes, they've got the run coming off of turn 2 onto the backstretch. Those guys are going to zoom right back by him, and that's going to put everybody still back on the lead lap. But tell you, man, it's going to be tough trying to catch those 3, 29 here and the 19. If they can kind of Puncara and Pipgrass, if they can work together here. Oh, Pipgrass into the wall there, coming out of turn 4, hit the wall pretty hard.
It's going to be interesting to see if these cars can get lined back up. And if they can they catch the 3 of these guys here? If not, they're going to settle up between themselves.
10 laps to go.
They have 10 to go next time by, actually, as we got 11 right now, still 36. But next time by, 10 laps to go, unless we get a caution. That would be the only thing that changes everything here, which, well, again, with the 15 to go, that was probably a smart move to pit then, because now you don't have to worry about those green white checkers. You can make it on fuel no matter what. And Ducharme, I think maybe got the wall. I couldn't tell.
Hey, what? Ducharme's still sitting on the back end of DeMerchant and Bardou, and I tell you, if everything goes green from this point on, it looks like we're going to have a 3-car battle for the win here today, as of right now, unless something happens.
It is going to be wild. Can't wait to see how many lead changes we've had in this race. And then the question now becomes, what spot do you want to be in at the finish? Do you want to be the leader? Do you want to be second? Do you want to be third?
Yep, I'm taking a look right now. It looks like we've had 14 different lead changes here today is what I'm counting on my ticker on this end.
Wow. As the merchant to the bottom.
Yep, I was taking a look at that. The 08 of Deschamps making things work. I tell you, he can get that car up there almost side by side with the leader, but he just don't have enough to take over the lead. And, you know, Chris, I tell you, Bardou and DeMerchant have worked together for so many laps. I just don't see one of them pulling behind Deschamps and helping him out a little bit. He's going to be on his own. As long as he stays with these guys, he's going to definitely have to come up with something that's going to get around these guys.
Yeah, and looking at that lap, they lost about 2/10 to the fourth-place car, Brian Bible, when they swapped positions there. So, going to get very interesting. It looks like Pancari and Bible might be side by side back here. Maybe not. But it's interesting to see if this group of cars can get together. They are knocking time off the leaders. They are catching the leaders.
I believe you're right, Chris. They are starting to catch the leaders there. They got a good run. 19 of Puncara and the 44 of Bible working close with each other, bumper to bumper. Then you've got Brian Ray and Richard Schwinn.
Mm-hmm. Superman.
Superman kind of fell off by himself back there. So that's going to leave Brian Ray in the 99 car of Nathan Hager. Nathan Hager's running, he's 7 laps down, but he's still working with Brian Ray.
He's helping. He's trying to help as much as possible. As we now have 7 laps to go this time by.
I tell you,
it'll be 6 to go next time.
Taking a look over the chat channel there, we got people pulling for the Blue Goose out there. The Blue Goose has got some fans pulling for him out there.
You have created a monster, my friend.
Oh, goodness. The Blue Goose with the new nickname, the number 19, got himself a new nickname here today. Brent Precari.
Yep. The leader's 3 seconds. 3 seconds or so, now 2.9, and they got 6 laps. I don't know if they're going to have enough time to get to these 3. They got to get to probably within about a second or so to get the draft of these guys. And looks like there's issues on the track. Pancari. Bible is wrecked on the back straightaway. Brian Ray's involved. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Oh, that's going to definitely change the way things are going to finish here today.
I looked over and I saw numbers going crazy, and I'm like, what just happened? Let's go back and see Brian Ray involved, Brian Bible involved. Let's see what happens here. Oh, he got hooked.
Yep.
Hagar gets in it. Pancari gets through. Schwinn is through.
Wow, tough break there. Those guys were catching the leaders. You know, I'm not sure if this is going to be a good thing or if it's not such a bad thing that happened.
Tell you what it's going to do. You know who this just benefited? Bobby Zielinski.
Bobby Zielinski?
Zielinski was the one who had trouble on pit road. He fell off the pack when he had the issue on pit stops, and now
definitely going to put him back up there in that top 5 position, especially when we go back to green.
So, and we're going to have, I'm trying to see if this is going to shape up. I'm going to mute my chat real quick here. I'm going to go talk to the admin so that they understand what's going on.
Very interesting. So, folks, make sure to keep tuned in here to see how
pit stops.
Okay. So, but
error.
Yeah, they're at 3 to go right now, right? All right.
We are.
No.
All right. So 200, unless there's another wreck. All right. So we don't need to throw a caution, right? Once they're ready to go, or once they go green again, if the caution comes out, they just do a green 2 laps, right? And then race is over after that until we finish, whatever. All right. 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 So at 200 is when we'll throw the caution. When it reaches 201. Right.
We're just discussing down here in TeamSpeak. You might have heard Wilms and those guys talking to me on chat. This is going to be a green-white checkered because right now we're getting 3 laps to go, and they're going to get 2 to go likely right here. You subtract 2 laps, we're going to go green with 1 lap to go. So this is going to count as a green-white checkered finish right now. So this is going to make it very interesting.
Oh.
See if Wilms is talking to everybody here.
So when we do go back to green, Chris, just to clarify everything, that will be a green flag checker once we go back green.
We'll get the green flag, we'll come back and get the white flag, and then back to the finish with the checkered flag.
All right, drivers.
Hey, Wilms going to talk to everybody.
Your green-white checkered. So at 201, if the caution does not come out
Well, I tell you
before
what,
that, I will
folks,
throw a
thanks for
caution.
tuning in here
Race will
today.
be over.
Like I say, make sure don't go anywhere. This is going to be one exciting finish you're going to see right here today at the Daytona 500 that Mr. Chris Scala has put together with a few leagues here. We've seen some really exciting racing here going on today. Lots of green flag pit stops. We've seen some accidents here. We've seen some guys go from the lead to the back of the pack. And we've seen some guys go from the back of the pack that's currently in the lead. So many things have happened here today, Chris.
That's exactly right. So it's going to be wild. Derek Bordeaux with a chance to win not only the trophy, but $10 for starting last and finishing first part of the Hagar Challenge. Seth the Merchant's got a chance. Tyler Ducharme in third. Everybody's cheering on the Blue Goose. He is in fourth of Brett Pancari. Richard Schwintz fifth. Pipgrass and Zielinski all have a chance. And let me look here.
Tell you what, Chris, is there a way that we might be able to talk to some of these guys, Derek Bardu or Seth the Merchant?
Well, they just got 1 to go, so it looks like we won't be able to get a chance to do that. But I want to check Brian Ray's car. He's got right rear damage. He's got left front, so it looks like Ray's chances of winning are out.
Looks like McFadden there is just cheering on your 89 viewers you've gotten so far. And I tell you what, on an easy term, just I always use a rule of thumb. 89 viewers, you at least got probably 178 people watching right now, because a lot of people like to watch this thing together. We've got a lot of families out there watching this and rooting on for their son or daughter or their father or brother or uncle. So definitely got a lot of viewers here today, Chris.
Absolutely, and I see Slamaflage, Matt Simpson there with his 15th box of popcorn since the start of the race. As Bordeaux is going to take the outside lane here, and it's going to be a green-white checkered. So for those who don't know how this works, Bordeaux will take the green. We will come back around, complete a lap. White flag will come out. We'll come back around, and if the caution has not waved, we will wave the checkered flag on the Daytona 500. If a caution comes out again, they'll do it all over again. 11 cars. Actually, it looks like 8 cars. Make that 7 technically without the damage, with a chance to win this race. Here we go.
Here we go.
Get your popcorn, boys. Get your food. Put your seatbelts on. Time to decide who's going to win this trophy in the Daytona 500. Pace car is off. Green, white, checkered. First time ever in the 500 on iRacing.
D Merchant looking to stay on the low end down there. Bordeaux just basically cut him off and got in front of him.
I think that was
there.
part of the plan, to get them together.
Blue Goose up on the high end. A 29 of Pipgrass trying to make something happen. 19 of Blue Goose is left out by itself.
The Merchant and Derek trying to work together. They're going to be coming to the white flag this time by if they stay green. Ducharme, Pancari racing hard for third.
Ducharme's going to secure that third for right now. Blue Goose looking on the inside, looking on the outside, tucks it in right in behind him. Now he knows he's going to have to work with him bumper to bumper to catch these guys.
Final lap, here we go. If the caution comes out, the race is still not over. They have to get to the checkered flag. It's becoming a tandem race.
Tyler Ducharme, Pancari, they're working together on the low end. They're getting up side by side on the backstretch. They are door handle to door handle.
Here they come. Tyler to the bottom. Pancari pushing. Bordeaux on top with the Merchant pushing.
Down in turn 3, between turn 3 and turn 4.
Here they go.
Here they go.
Ducharme going to go to block. Who's going to make the move?
Ducharme
Contact.
is up in the lead.
Tyler Ducharme wins the Daytona 500.
Wow. Man, what a heck of a finish here, Chris. Ducharme got the lap that counted the most. He takes the win in and is going to end up in victory lane here this evening.
What a move by the 08.
Pancari is going to finish second. Derek Bardoon finished third. Seth the Merchant finishes fourth in the top 5. Well, I tell you, it looks like Zielinski is shown to be finished in fourth.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to go back and check the start-finish line, the cameras there, because the caution came out immediately afterwards, which is on purpose. We threw the caution on purpose because it locks the field up. So hopefully they won't cross the line, or else it screws everything up at that point. So.
I'll tell you what, one heck of a finish, and it looks like Tyler is already doing his victory dance out there in the middle of the infield. I tell you, he tried so hard working to get past Bardoux and the Merchant, just wasn't able to get it past these guys, and it looked like he had a lot of help from the Blue Goose there that was able to push him up toward the front.
Let's go back and watch the finish one more time here before we go talking victory lane with the drivers. I'm over here like shaking almost. That was freaking crazy.
Fantastic finish here at the Daytona 500.
And we only needed one green, white, checkered.
Yep, that's it. Only one you needed. One heck of a race.
So Ducharme, Pancari, and Bordeaux, I believe, is how they finished. Oops, get off my screen. And we'll let Rick will talk with Pancari here in a second. I'm going to go down here and meet up with Derek Bordeaux. Unfortunately, did not get the $10 challenge, but it went from a lack of effort. Holy cow.
Tell you what, excellent race, excellent finish, one heck of a show here today. Tell you, we had lots of fantastic audience out there that really got involved, and we definitely thank you guys for being here today. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking to some of these drivers here. It's going to take you back for the last few laps and kind of get you guys up to date on what was going through their mind as they were finishing out this 500 today.
Derek Bordeaux, Chris Scallon, the F-Road TV booth. Get a copy.
Yes, absolutely.
Man, you guys put on a show. What a great race it was throughout. The last couple of laps, they were wild with the green-white checkered. Coming home third. I know you wanted to win, but especially with the challenge, but still a great effort on your part.
Yeah, it's a pretty good race overall. I don't know what happened with Seth there. We were probably the fastest if he didn't have any damage, but oh well. I know I trusted him. I could have went down on Tyler and maybe caused a wreck or something, but I don't know. I just stayed high and hopefully Seth would have got to me, but I guess he didn't because of the side draft. Oh, well, overall, good race. Had plenty of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the number of lead changes and stuff in that race. I know we had some cautions in the end, but what could you have done different, if anything?
No, went low on the backstretch from Buck Tyler and Picari.
Well, great job on
I'm
your
not
end.
sure if Chris has got me on
Send a shout out
mute or what. I encourage you guys,
Send a
please
shout out
stay
whoever you'd
with
like
us
to.
for these guys' interview. We're going to take you back
Shout out
to
you
these
for putting
guys.
this up,
Hopefully we're going
SRA
to talk
and,
to
Tyler for
Kara,
putting
which
this
is,
up.
I believe he earned the nickname of Blue Goose. Does
job,
anybody disagree that Pucara has earned the nickname of Blue Goose here today?
Nice job. So we just got done talking with Bordeaux. Let's get you, Rick, down there. I know you got Pancari there next to you, so actually I think he should be in this room, so we might be able to drag him down here.
Yep.
Let's drag him down. I know he's probably excited as hell.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But we'll let you take it away, Rick, with Mr. Pancari.
Fantastic. Brent Pucari, as I would call you, the Blue Goose, take us back to the last lap there in between turn. Let's just start on the backstretch before we get into turn 3. Take the viewers back to that lap.
Well, we were coming out of turn 4, and Bordeaux and Merchant were getting away, and Ducharme also got by me, and I just said, the heck of it, I'm going to shove the heck out of Ducharme. And we just stayed pushing and as hard as I could, and I thought maybe there would be a block on the back straight, but I just stayed with it as long as I could, and I tried to get inside of Ducharme, but he pretty much had it from mile 4.
Well, I'll tell you what, going back to that last lap there, Ducharme, earlier in the race, he tried really hard to get past Bordeaux and Demerchant. Demerchant and Bordeaux really worked together real good out there. And he was able to pull up beside the leader, but he wasn't able to take over the lead. Now, I'll tell you, I was telling Chris up in the booth it's going to be hard for Ducharme to be able to make anything happen unless he had a partner. And the next thing we know, the Blue Goose comes out of nowhere, comes right up to the back bumper. And I tell you, I really think you pushed him to victory here on that last lap.
Yeah, I pretty much did push him to the win there, Rick. But it was the only thing I could do to even have myself a shot was to push him, because if they were still working together, they would have been long gone. So I had no choice. Is just shove whoever the heck you can, and maybe there was an opportunity in the end, but it kind of was. But Ducharme pretty much had it.
Well, Brett, I tell you what, you definitely walk away from here with your head held high. You ran a really good race out there today, was very patient, showed your skill. You had a lot of muscle out there to show. And I tell you, you got yourself a really good finish here this evening. Is there anybody out there you want to thank?
I think, you commentating also, but especially most of all Chris Scott for putting this whole thing on. It was definitely a lot of effort, and it was definitely kind of touch and go in some of the qualifying race and some of the practice sessions as well. But it was definitely a wild affair at Daytona, and thank everyone at United Sim Racing Championship, the guys that I raced against from SRA as well. Those are some of the toughest guys out there I ever ran against, and thank everyone out there watching on the streams and everyone else, and also thank Toronto Blue Jays, AARP, and Toyota, and I believe that's about it.
I'll tell you what, again, I'm going to say fantastic race here for you here this evening. You had a great race, and I tell you, you've got a lot of fans out here now that was pulling for the Blue Goose. I didn't mean to give you that nickname, but I believe it kind of stuck here today, so good for you.
All right. Yeah, thanks again, and I guess thank you for giving me this nickname. Now, so maybe someone to paint a car now for my Blue Goose on it.
All righty. Well, I tell you what, Brett, you have a good evening, and we appreciate you joining us up here in the booth. Chris, you got anything you want to say?
Just nice job, Brett, and appreciate everybody being out there, and I think it's about time